Hello everyone, my name is TheMadScorpyon, and I just want to wish you a happy holidays, Merry Christmas Eve, and every other sort of holiday delight that is coming with this time. And speaking of holidays, with this day, it is the last week of the Dawning, which for the few people that do want to actually grind out the Dawning, this is your last week to do so, whether it be grinding out cookies to earn extra strange coins, grinding out the weapons to get limited time god rolls, or otherwise collecting the ornaments from the Eververse store. That is the last week this year. You'll be able to do it, and until next holiday season will be the next Dawning, if there even is another Dawning, so, you know, get it while you can, especially the titles. That is pretty much the main reason that people play anything nowadays. Regardless, in terms of the week at large, we do have a current Gambit rank booster, so in case you wanted to grind out Gambit, that was a good time to do so. I don't know if anyone would actually want to grind out Gambit, but, you know, more power to you. Aside from that, again, it is the last week of the Dawning, so let's get into the variety of the week at large. The weekly Nightfall is the newly rebranded Inverted Spired Grandmaster, which, in all officialness, was nice to see it updated, but I don't know if it officially changed much. I know the entryway is a little bit more different and difficult, possibly, but honestly, with a little bit of prehensile knowledge, watching a guide, or seeing the differences in between, it is pretty simple to just take it slow, take it smooth, and you'll get through it. Boss fight is usually just a little bit chaotic because there's not that much cover, and it's just you, the boss, and a majority of other enemies. However, a big thing about the modifier this week, as you can see on my screen since I'm constantly bleeding, is the haste modifier, basically where you have to keep moving, otherwise you take some extra damage. That is the only thing I think that will be a big problem aside from the burns and maybe an experience when it comes to this Grandmaster. However, the weapon that is currently available is the Rake Angel Glaive, which, full honesty, I was a fan of the aggressive glaives. I liked how much they packed a punch in comparison to regular glaives. However, I haven't touched a glaive since the Lightfall's legendary campaign on my third run through, so it's there for me to judge whether or not this is worth going for. I can't really say. I would say it is up to you whether or not you're seeking a role or want to try out aggressive flame glaives in this day and age. It is entirely up to you. I just don't purely know. In terms of the Crucible, it's looking like it's going to be a bit busy for the variety because we do have a normal control 6v6 available, as well as momentum control 6v6 in case you wanted a little bit larger gunplay. As well, in terms of the 3v3, there is the usual competitive as well as Rift for quick play, and then hardware supremacy is still around, and then the usual Rumble with the expected trials this weekend, but it doesn't seem like there's any rep boosters or reward boosters for anything PvP this week, so keep that in mind in case you just feel like grinding out. For our weekly featured activities, starting with raids, it is two reprised ones and some of the weird ones because we have Crota's and the Vault of Glass. And why they are weird? Mainly just because of Vault of Glass, because there is a weird middle state where it does have a master mode and there is time lost weapons, but there isn't deep sight weapons to earn. So can you grind out a masterworked, or not masterworked, adept version of the one you want? Absolutely. But of course you can't eventually make the base weapons themselves with the double enhanced perks. And now, can you enhance them? I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been in Vault of Glass, so it's possible. However, speaking of Vault of Glass, it is where you earn the Vexmenta-class legendary auto fusion rifle. So if you wish to get it, you know, it's a time to go for it in case you can get together a crew that is still hunting Vexmenta-class and just grind out Atheon. And per the usual, because it is featured, all challenges are active, and per the usual with the master mode, that is where you get your adept weapons from, specific ones, so it is perfect to grind out any individual weapon you wish. However, at the same time, with Crota's End, it is quite a weird one because this is the only time that challenge modes are active sometimes. For some reason during the week, its single challenge mode is not around. It's only available challenge modes are during its featured week when they are all available. But this one is more standard of nowadays. Its master mode is available. You can earn any adept weapon from any challenge mode, as well as just earning the exotic, I believe in the normal way that you can, which is just to get stuff done in Crota. However, in terms of master focus modes for a variety of raids, the Vault of Glass is offering strength focus rewards, while Crota's End is offering recovery focused armor, and Salvation's Edge on the same list is offering intellect focused armor. Now, the featured dungeons as well, we have two good ones, which is the Grasp of Avarice, which is where I recommend anyone farm out Artifice armor if they're looking for high stat roll and well rolled, mainly just because the final boss is very simple to reset and go over through again, so it's pretty much just a solid one, especially since it's so old, it's a little bit out of the health pool. Regardless, It's a really good one to farm out Eververse armor in the variety, and there is a handy set of good weapons you can earn from this dungeon that, even though they aren't craftable, they are pretty much solid enough that you don't need to get them craftable. Looking at my IS Luna, which is my pretty much stasis hand cannon baby. But aside from that, there is an exotic chain to this that is quest focused, so it is more focused towards farming out rolls as opposed to just doing to drop the exotic. But speaking of drop the exotic, there is also the Warlord's Ruin, which in a similar state doesn't exactly have the greatest weapons. It has some nifty picks, but is certainly up there in terms of dungeons that aren't worth grinding for the god roll that everyone is hunting for, except, of course, for Indebted Kindness. However, in that one outlier, the weapon itself as well is the Buried Bloodlines exotic, which is something I would recommend getting for anybody who likes Devour or Weakening builds. Regardless, that is the exotic you can farm for, and there is, once again, Artifice armor in its Master mode that I would recommend maybe doing in case you need to do Master Warlords, but at the same time, I would definitely choose Grasp over Warlords for just purely Artifice armor focus. And at the meantime, the weekly featured exotic mission is the Presage mission, which is where you earn the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle, which in the same respect is where you earn anything from Season of the Haunted, which includes reprised menagerie weapons, as well as the classic haunted weapons from the, of course, Season of the Haunted, in case you want to hunt red borders still from this old fabled Solar 3.0 season. And at the same time, with the raid challenges while we are here, Salvation's Edge is the at capacity challenge mode. Crota's End is once again featured, so everything is available to farm infinitely. The Root of Nightmares is the All Hands challenge, aka the Nezarec challenge. King's Fall is under construction, which I believe is War Priest challenge, or possibly the Sisters challenge, I forget. Actually, nope, Sisters, I'm checking myself. Vowed Disciple is the Swift Destruction, which is First Encounter Abomination Quick Kill challenge. Vault of Glass is once again featured, so all challenges are active and infinitely farmable. The Deepstone Crypt is a Vault Trades challenge, aka Third Encounter Rotate the Buffs challenge. Garden of Salvation is the Leftovers challenge, and the Last Wish raid is the Keep Out challenge. And for Dares of Eternity, the rotation is Taken, Cabal, and Zydron the Gate Lord in terms of the Expert mode Dares of Eternity levels. For week 12 of possibly 15, the first one is crafting a tonic that increases the probability of attaining a specific weapon, basically any of the reward tonics that reward weapons, self-explanatory. Although I'm not sure exactly how many it will take because I've crafted a fair number of them, so just continue with the season and this shall finish itself in the end. The next is the Moon Activities, which is the standard of doing patrols, bounties, public events, lost sectors on a specific location. This time it is the Moon. Then you also have Popping Off for breaking combatant shield with matching damage in Vanguard or Gambit playlist, which I think this is the first time I've ever seen this. It's pretty simple enough though, and almost any enemy nowadays is using all three elements of usual shields, so just make sure to have a rainbow effect or even hard light if you are so pressed to deal with this, and this shall go pretty well. The next is Intermittent Performance for dealing final blows of special ammo in Gambit, Crucible, or Vanguard Ops activities, basically anything playlist. Earn bonus progress for shotgun or grenade launcher final blows, or of course for defeating Guardians. And lastly, for the Crucible, Momentum Crash, defeating Guardians and Momentum Control, earn bonus progress with zone advantage, aka having more than one zone than your enemies. Rounding out with our last week of festive offerings, this is right here, of course, correct. This is the last chance you'll be able to get this year any of the Dawning rewards that they show, and pretty much anything in this entirety page of the event tab is available only until next Tuesday, Silver or Bright Dust otherwise, so keep in mind in case you wish to get something, this is the last chance, otherwise, again, gone for quite a long time. But on the front page, we have some shaders and transmats on the front. We have Benefice, or Beneficence, I'm not sure exactly, but you look like Christmas wrapping. Gold, green, a little bit of highlighter red, you certainly look like you belong on top of a Christmas tree of all things. The next is the Shark Bite, which I believe was from last year possibly, but it doesn't look very sharky, it just kind of looks Dawning shades of aquatic bluish tones. Not too terrible, maybe misnamed, but it's not, again, not too terrible. The Ice Ball Effects, which is just a basic transmit of you popping out of an ice cube stasis effect before stasis. Then the Snowball Fight emote, which I believe this one was new from this year. It's basically just, you know, chucking snowballs, and I think it's, no, actually, nope, this is a different one that I'm thinking of. Chuck a snowball, and then you get pelted with snowballs, and that is the end of it. A nice one that wraps up on its own. And the next is the Cross EDZ Symphony, which is, I think, from an early year of Destiny, possibly, but it is a nice classic vanilla Destiny 2 Sparrow, lighted up with a variety of Christmas lights and a festive snowy trail. A simple Sparrow, back from the simple times. And on the front page of the Bright Dust items, starting with our shaders, we have Dawning Brilliance, which is another one of those ones I dubbed the Knight in Shining Armor. More white, less highlights of colors, you know, it's simple enough. As well as the Dawning Tranquility, which is just kind of, you know, a similar case of silvers, brownish bronzes, and a bit of purple. And Celestia, which I believe was from an earlier week, this is more traditional Dawning, whites, golds, and blues, as that is the tricolor set that is usually anything Dawning focused. And a repeat with Beneficence on the Transmats page. We have the Shower of Gifts Transmats, which is basically self-explanatory, you pop out of a present. Then the Howling Blizzard, which is basically Silence and Squall, but the Transmat effect, in case you wanted to look more icy. And the Snowy Entrance, which is just, again, you popping out of a snowman, as most Transmats are. With our main items, we have the Sad Tree emote, which this is definitely new to this year, in case you wanted to, you know, look depressing in the middle of the festive season, trying to look after a tree that is just, you know, not with it. As well as an emote of Holiday Caroling, which I don't believe this comes with any noise, thank God, but, you know, in case you wanted to look a little bit more festive and singy. The Winterian Neighbor Shell, which is just, I believe this is a part of the Doki Doki Destiny set, but it's still Dawning, so this is a limited time if you wish to pair that with your anime guardians. As well, the Frictional Cooler, which is the Zamboni ship, in case you wanted to look like a flying brick of ice shavings. There's no good way to put that, really. Then the Peppermint Condition, which is just, you know, another festive broom sparrow, in case you wish to look festive while also being spooky on a broom. And I don't know, or what's the words I'm looking for? A festive take on the Xenophage, which I know there actually is a bit of an Easter egg with this one, is the bug that is the ammo source, or the power source for Xenophage, actually does have a Christmas hat on here. Olmar transferred into a bug is representing Christmas as well. But, you know, a festive ornament, it looks cool for festivities, but then out of season, it's a little bit weird. And lastly, and least as always, a basic ghost projection for your stuff. With that, my name is TheMadScorpyon. That is the end of this reset update, and I just wanted to preface, I know Destiny is kind of looking a bit bleak, but I'm holding out hope for at least the next year. See what they can pull out of their ass, considering they've, you know, wrapped up the main story. I'm seeing whatever stories they can concoct are actually worth my interest. But with that, my name is TheMadScorpyon. I will see you in the next video.